Hey guys, welcome back to DCS Chronicles. And guess what? Being in TV for several years has shown me that there are some elements to radio that are difficult, elements to journalism and also print, as well as radio and PR. However, TV has the most moving parts. And guess what? Today I'm going to challenge my co-hosts, Ashley and Mahiri. Ashley is a PR student and Mahiri is a radio student. But guess what? I'm going to have them in the television world as we acknowledge World Television Day. Guess what? I'm going to challenge them to produce a nice 30-second commercial, a nice 30-second feature on a monument here at NCU. Whether it be the sundial, whether it be the circle of knowledge, whatever, they're going to have the challenge. So guys, will you accept the challenge?
Yes, we do.
Challenge accepted.
Hi guys, welcome back to your unaware moment. I am Anissa Dixon, and today's question is, how will you treat outdoor activities post-COVID?
Alright, honestly, I've never been one to go out before COVID, but one thing COVID has taught me is never to take anything for granted. So for me, I'm definitely going to tick some of the places off of my bucket list. So I'm going to be traveling, and all those invitations that I declined before COVID, I'm going to make sure that wherever anybody invites me, I'm there, because you never know what can happen.
I'm with you on that.
Alright.
Well, for me, when Corona ends, I'll be going out more because I'm in college now. I can't really do anything but stay home on my laptop. But I will be going out a lot more, and you should too.
Definitely when COVID ends, I will be going out because I've been here all through lockdowns and I haven't seen my friends and family in a while. So I'll be going to the river, to the beach, wherever.
Well, the kids have been asking for a while to go to the beach, so that would be priority as they've never been there really. And at the time when I plan on bringing them there, COVID actually hit. Apart from that, more time outdoor activities, taking them out to see the world and to just know people and know places.
COVID has been an interesting epidemic for us, and in my opinion, or for me personally, there's not a lot I would need to change. I guess mostly just to focus more on family, because during this time you realize what simple things really mean and how important they are. So family would be a very key thing for me in terms of after COVID, seeing my family however far or near they are, and that kind of thing.
Well, I will be doing everything that I'm doing now. I still have a social life, I still go places, so I don't think anything will change. I will just stop wearing a mask, I guess.
I guess I'll hang out more with my friends because I haven't been seeing them much yet.
What would I do differently? I don't think I would do anything differently, to be honest. I'm a very outdoor person. I'm still having some outdoor fun at the moment. I guess I'm one of the lucky set of people. And so I don't think anything would be different for me, honestly.
There you have it, peeps. You have heard the views of the public on what they will be doing post-COVID. What will you be doing? Leave a comment below and let us know. I am Anissa Dixon. See you next time. Well guys, that was your unaware moment feature. Post-COVID, I think I'm gonna take life by the reins. What say you? And just to say, TV, I take back my word to here, it's hard. My shoulder, I need them, I kill me. So Mr. Cuff, I sincerely do apologize. Coming up next is your Hilltop Trumpet journalism feature. Watch it.
Hi, I'm Suzelle Ray, Director of Publications for the United Student Movement and Editor-in-Chief of our official newspaper, the Hilltop Trumpet. And as we recognize Journalism Month, I'm here to share with you our operations as a student advocacy paper. The Hilltop Trumpet stands as a newspaper for students of the Northern Caribbean University, and even though it is a division of the university's student services, we aim to be as objective as possible with our content. We have a team of journalists who are tasked with gathering information from different beats, such as academics, spiritual affairs, social engagements, sports, and more. Before the coronavirus pandemic, our student reporters would provide news coverage of events face-to-face, and this is done whether externally or internally. Unfortunately, the pandemic has forced us to do so remotely, with the advantage being that most events are done virtually. However, it does have some roadblocks. The disadvantages of covering sources in a virtual space means we have a harder access to sources imperative to our story. It's also harder to do follow-ups. In a face-to-face environment, it would be easier to reach out to the source immediately after the event to access additional information. This has somewhat dampened our journalistic work as we seek to acquire enough information for the articles we produce. However, we have been doing our best, both reporters operating remotely and those in and around the NCU community. Each year, students are given the opportunity to hone and develop their skills from various departments, not only the Department of Communication Studies, but medical technology, biological sciences, and social work. We cover stories not only from within the Northern Caribbean University, but Central Jamaica, where we also cover the recently held general elections. Some of our latest coverages are of the United Student Movement inauguration, our USM sector plans and initiatives promised to students, events happening from within our member organizations, and also information imperative to students from the administration. As we seek to carry out our duties as student journalists at the Hilltop Trumpet, we implore you, our NCU students, to visit our website at hilltoptrumpet.ncu.edu.jm, our Instagram page at Hilltop Trumpet, and our Facebook page at NCU USM's Hilltop Trumpet. Happy Journalism Month!
It's looking good, guys. It's looking good, trust me. Thank you to the Hilltop Trumpet for giving us a fantastic feature on Journalism Month. As you can see, I'm right here by the sundial. I've done the necessary shots that I've needed to take to make my feature better than Ashes. It's not gonna win a Grammy, it's not gonna win an Oscar, none of that stuff. It's gonna be better than Ashes because I did background checks. But we're gonna move on now. We're gonna get into our PAP segment, guaranteed to smear your mind with personal and professional development tips.
Like to leave us with a few pieces of information that I would have learned from my approximately 10 years of working as an associate clinical psychologist. These are just some tips that I think have really helped me to manage my stress level as we're dealing with this global pandemic of COVID-19, because mental health is definitely important. So the first thing is that fear is totally natural. Fear is a natural response, so it's okay if you're feeling a little afraid right now based on what's happening globally. Imagine if your house was on fire. Chances are you'd hurry up and get out of there, get your mother, get your father, get everything that you consider to be important and leave that house. So it is an expected response if you're feeling fearful. The thing that we want to prevent though is fear taking control of how we think. Because if we're not careful, it will consume us. We've got to remember that we are in control of the fear. You are in control of the fear. The fear does not control you. Yeah? The second point is that our body does have a natural stress response, but it may have negative consequences if it goes on for a prolonged period of time. So when I speak about stress, I'm really referring to the response that we give to any situation or experience that we consider to be challenging. So the challenge could be an exam coming up, it could be a big formula you don't know how you're going to pay it, or it could be what we have now, the threat of COVID-19. Those are challenges. Another term for those are stressors. So our stress is our reaction to those stressors now, and how we interpret those challenges is also important. So when we're having a stress response, our body will respond physically. So there are certain centers in the brain, the amygdala, the hippocampus, which send off certain signals, causing adrenaline and cortisol to be released. Our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, even our blood glucose levels go up because our body's saying, okay, Marshall, I need to protect you. There's a danger coming up. We need to give you energy to deal with this. So that's the physical response. We can also react to stress in an emotional way, in terms of feeling maybe more sad or irritable. It can impact on us cognitively, where we may even start to think negatively about our ability to deal with it. So we may think, oh my gosh, we can't deal with this, maybe I get sick. A lot of cognitions going on through our minds. Stress can also impact on our behaviors. We may become more aggressive, or we may even become socially withdrawn from persons that we love. So stress response is okay, but it is when that response happens for a prolonged period of time that we start to have challenges. And research does show that as our stress levels go up, the functioning of our immune system, which we need to fight against illnesses such as COVID-19, goes down. So if we're not careful, the stress and the negative impact of it can get to us before COVID-19. It is said that when we are stressed, we are more likely to become ill, and it increases our risk of getting things like hypertension and even heart attacks. So that leads me to my third point. We need to learn how to manage our stress. And a simple way that I use to manage my stress is by literally practicing some deep breathing. So let's take 3 deep breaths. But we're going to do it slowly. So every time we breathe in, we'll do it for the count of 4. And when we breathe out, we'll do it for another count of 4. Okay? So just imagine that your lungs are balloons. And every time you breathe in, they're going to swell up as they're being filled with the air. And whenever you breathe out, they're going to come back down as the air is released. Alright? So let's do it slowly. Breathe in. Out. In, out. Last time, slowly in and out. And just stay with the breath a little bit. Remember, you want to do it slowly. It is something that you're going to want to practice for a period of time. Maybe 5 to 10 times. You can do it in the mornings and in the evenings, or whenever you're feeling particularly anxious. But practice it, because practice does make perfect. Okay? So I do hope that you have learned something from our brief discussion on some information and ways that we can manage our mental health, even as we are combating COVID-19. Remember, you got this. You will get through this. Be blessed.
Imagine for a second, you're in university pursuing a degree you know you're meant to do. Your brother pays the rent, your mom helps out where she can, and you're working to pay the school fees. Everything seems to be going right. And then, COVID hits. Your brother is laid off his job, your mom is struggling, and you are practically begging for somewhere to live because you cannot find the rent. What would you do next? This is the story of one person your donation will impact. With that information, what will you do next?
Rafa offers all natural and handmade bath and body products crafted with lots of passion and love, catered to the holistic healing of your skin. We aim to help our customers reveal their true beauty through natural healing. You deserve to be naturally beautiful, naturally healed, and naturally you. Rafa, live, love, heal. Call us or send us a WhatsApp today at 876-879-8865 or follow us on Instagram at rafa.llh.
DCS, developing talent, building a nation.
Nominate somebody in the comment section below that you think has a great voice. Our judging panel will create a shortlist and those chosen will vie for the top prize in the DCS Voice Challenge. DCS is filled to the brim with talent. And for this month's talent segment, we are going to focus on three of the best productions to come out of DCS since the pandemic has hit. We'll be focusing on the Understanding Her More podcast, hosted and produced by Katie and Hill. We will be focusing on a show called I Can Do It, But Can You? A show produced by our very own Antonia Atkinson. And last but not least, we will be focusing on the Unveil podcast, hosted by our very own Javon Thomas and produced by Quinnell Ming.
Greetings and welcome to Understanding Her More, where men listen, learn, and appreciate.
Some men think that by giving gifts, the woman will be happy. And that's another thing that you have to keep in mind. Not every woman's love language is receiving gifts.
Yeah.
Give me a movie and the two of we just sit down and watch it and watch
And
Netflix.
good.
You know, the same time I'm good.
Social media display, the celebrities, they're getting their new ride, they're getting all these things, these fancy things. So they play on the mind of the subconscious. As a result of that's what you bring forth in your everyday life, thinking yes. So sometimes we try to look for the finished product instead of the raw material and make it the product.
Where's the tambourine?
Yep.
Where is the tambourine?
This tutorial should call squeeze my brain. Because I don't understand. But you have to be so rough to yourself, my girl. Alright. So after you put on the shoelace now and you pull it up, so this is how you're gonna get the puff with the slick back roots.
Laying the edges with the tail comb, I guess. Once again, I must reiterate, I don't know anything that's happening here, and I don't know why people keep asking me to do voiceovers of makeup when I don't know what's going on half the time. She's curving them to re-enter the stream that is her hair, I'm guessing. I don't know. This is something. I've never seen this one before. I've never seen edges like this. Not that I study edges, I've made that perfectly clear.
Hey guys, this is the Unveil podcast with DJ Wavy.
Yo, this is DJ Wavy. I was in the house, I sat down, put the Wi-Fi on my phone, you know how the thing go. And she said, well, do you want some soup? I say, soup? Soup sounds good. So she brought the soup and I ate the soup. I don't really like food in soup, so I ate the liquid first, right? So I was like, wait. What kind of soup is this? And that's when she told me, well, this is minus water. And I say, oh no, this is not okay.
Yes, we've come to the end of another edition of our talent segment. We'd like to thank everybody that was involved with this week's talent segment: Katie and Hill, Quinnell Ming, Javon Thomas, and Antonia Atkinson. Join us next month as we focus on 3 new talents, the best to come out of DCS.
is Errol Fabian. I'm from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm a very grateful recovering drug addict. This year I celebrated 30 years clean and serene. I'm a master of ceremonies. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a producer and director in television. I'm a TV presenter. I had the most amazing and beautiful childhood. I am number 6 of 9 children my parents had. We grew up in the country, and my father was a school principal, and my mother was a domestic engineer, a housewife. And I mean, we had so much of everything. In particular, we had a lot of love in our home. I am what they call what is referred to as a polyaddict, which means I didn't have a particular drug of choice. I was an equal opportunity abuser. Nicotine, alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine in the main, crack cocaine. But when I was very young, I saw an adult man smoking a cigarette. And when he drew on that cigarette and blew it out, I knew I wanted to smoke cigarettes. It looked so big. You know? Did I believe I was truly addicted to any of these substances? And yes, I knew I was completely addicted to all of these substances. I never came to the point on my own that my drug use was too much and that I had to stop. I never came to that point. My wife took me to Narcotics Anonymous, and that really didn't do anything for me at that time. And soon enough, I stopped going to the meetings, and things spiraled downhill from there. And it was my wife who took me to a meeting with my siblings and my father when everybody was concerned about the family name and whatever. And it was she who eventually took me into a drug rehab center, and I went there because of her. So what worked for me was I got this job as a television presenter on a weekly magazine show. And there were people I used to use with who said it's just a matter of time, you know, because we all say we stop in every birthday, every old year's night, you know, and we never stop. To prove them wrong, there were days that I didn't use to prove them wrong. So I stopped using drugs, but I wasn't in recovery. You see, recovery is not about not using drugs. That's abstinence. It's a tiny, tiny part of recovery. Recovery is about being a better man today than I was yesterday. There is very, 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 very little chance of making it without support. And my siblings, my children, and my wife, I owe everything to them. So, teenagers who are experimenting with drugs, I want to tell you, I want to beseech you, implore you, I want to beg you, leave drugs alone. I want to say to you that this region, we need you. Because, you see, my age group, we failed you. And we look to you, teenagers, to save this region, to help our economy, to help our agriculture, to help everything. And if you're drugging, you're going to fail yourself. I beg you, leave drugs alone.